How resilient is the real estate market? We're going to go over that today. I know, more positive news. And yes, we're not going to see Diana Olick's face. Thank you, Lord. All next on Real Estate Daily. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage markets. Now, before we start, do me a favor. If you're a seller of home and you're sitting on the sideline saying, I am not going to sell my house because I have a 2 or 3% interest rate, well, what do I need from you, Troy? You definitely need a seller's guide, because when that market drops, and it will drop like a rock, the Fed is going to panic and hit that panic button. Beep, 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 beep. They are done raising rates, and they are going to drop it like crazy because the whole market's falling apart. And the blue team that's sitting up there in Washington, D.C. is going to go, oh my God, we're going to lose the election. That's what's going to happen. That's why this is important. All right, let's jump right into it. A tweet from the Cabesi letter. I went over one today. Check how resilient the housing market is. And all the naysayers out there, all that Diana Olickers out there, you know, they're all saying all this negative stuff. Oh, things are falling apart. We're going down 20%. Let's go over the events so far in 2023, right? All right, let's start off. Fastest rising interest rates in history. Mortgage rates rise a bunch above 2008 rates. We already are at that right now. 3 of the largest bank collapse in U.S. history. Thank you, Janet Yellen, but you just told us that that was never going to happen at the beginning of the year, and now you're saying it's not going to happen anymore this year. Can't believe anything you say. Largest quarterly decline in earnings since 2020. Very funny when they lowered their earnings so low. So we're going to see, actually, I think, good earnings, but they're really not going to be good earnings, because if you put it up against last year's earnings, they're going to be so far down. But their projections have just dropped to nothing, and that's when we're going to see a little more positiveness from Wall Street, which is the way they do things, right? That's how you get money flowing in from the retail. Debt ceiling crisis sent U.S. near default. Well, we know that it doesn't stop. We're at $33 trillion. That is on the books. There's another $100 trillion that's to be determined. That's off the books. We're a debt done country at this moment. But have no fear. We know how to print money and get out of it. 30 plus instances of countries moving away from the USD. The BRICS nations have said, forget you. Actually, if you keep hearing some of the leaders across the world, they're saying that they don't want nothing to do with the US dollar. And that is contributed specifically to the way we've handled our economy since 2021. We keep raising rates, which then causes inflation, even more inflation across the world as we're trying to fight our own inflation. And I get it. We're here not to worry about the world. But when Henry Kissinger flew over and talked to the Saudis back in the 70s and said, make us the world reserve currency, well, then we do have a little more, let's call it, responsibility about what we do that crushes the world. And because of it right now, and the way that Janet Yellen's been running this, and our Fed chair, Jerome Powell, they're really pissing off the world. We can really see it when she went to China last week. They laughed her off. I mean, she bows the wrong people. She says the wrong things, and when the press gets a hold of her, she has nothing to say. To really blow off the Chinese and say, oh yeah, or the yuan ain't going anywhere. The dollar's going to stay here and become, currency, while the Chinese are trying to dump the dollar and they're dumping our bonds. I mean, it's just so idiotic. But I digress. Multiple surprise OPEC oil production cuts. They're just done with it. If we keep sitting here going, oh, we don't need oil, we don't care about fracking, we want to have a society of zero emissions. Guess what, guys? The world isn't caring about any of that. And as much as ESG and the amount of trillions of dollars that the blue team wants to spend on this stance, it doesn't matter. If 80% of the world just keeps putting out emissions, it doesn't matter. So stupid. So stupid. They need to get something together amongst the entire world about cutting each nation's ESG, but 80% don't care about it. So it doesn't matter what we do. We aren't changing the temperature of the world by ourselves. Ain't gonna happen. Even the countries that are on our side, that like the France alliance there, guess what? They're even not doing it, as much because they don't have the funds for it. They're all printing money or in a huge inflationary situations in which there's just no way to put the time and effort into the global warming. Interest rate hikes returning after a pause. Yes, the S&P is up over 15%. Cannot break the real estate market. Think about all this going on, and we just showed you yesterday from CNBC that the value of homes month over month keeps going up. Why? Because the population in the United States keeps rising. We know the border's open, guys, as well as the birth rates. What is happening? Everyone needs a place to live. If you don't, then the homeless and the third of the homeless in the entire United States is right here in California. They're just going to overtake cities, which they've already done in San Francisco and in Los Angeles and in Seattle. It's just becoming such a mess out there that the cleanup costs are worse than if they would have handled the problem in the first place. It's out of control. With that being said, how is property values keep going up across the United States? Because there's not enough homes. People are migrating out of the cities into the suburbs, and then they're making a stand. You want to come to the suburbs? A lot of these cities are saying, nope, we don't want the homeless. It's your problem. If it overspills over here, we're sending them right back to you. And that's where we're seeing home values continue going up. Interest rates keep going up. Not enough homes for buyers. Not enough homes for people. We see the resiliency of the real estate market. It's a great tweet by the Kobesi letter. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Here it is from Housing Wire. It says rate lock volume rose 31% in June. How is it going up in June? Well, a lot of people were told by very good mortgage lenders that they first saw that rates were going to jump because of the Fed. And that's exactly what happened. They locked their rates. Now, usually when you're out there and you've gotten approval, you can get a 30 to 60 day lock. Some mortgage companies will go 90-day locks. And with that being said, people lock their rates. They're going, okay, we're locking it. Ever since the majority of people did, we saw rates explode. And this is why I tell everyone it is so important. You can go shop a rate all day long, but you can't shop the mortgage lender. You need to get with ones that make sense. I've seen this so many times where lenders will say one thing, and then when you get in escrow, they don't do it. Oh, rates changed, or it was based on opinion, or it can't lock the rate until we have a property that's been picked out. I've heard all the excuses why rates have gone up on my clients. That's why I want to use a selected number of mortgage professionals that I trust, that I can give out to my clients. And again, if you guys are questioning or having questions on what lenders you want to go with, please DM me below. I'm more than happy to go over that. All right, let's jump into the rates itself. It's been a fairly flat day yesterday. We did see, again, it's down about 2 basis points. So we did see conforming hit at 7%. We saw, jumbo, it's still a quarter, 25 basis points over 7. So it's just still up there. I'm seeing people getting rates locked in the 7s. It's crazy. FHA is just flat. It basically was flat. We're at 6.84. We need to get it under 6.7. It just needs to happen. But this week is going to be very volatile. Like I went over with you yesterday, we're having CPI number on Wednesday. We have a PPI number on Wednesday. We have unemployment or jobless claims on Thursday. So we're having 8 Fed chairmen across the United States that got to beat their chest, and they got to be in front of microphones because the media has nothing better to do than to listen to what they say. And I have a feeling they're all going to talk about at least 1, if not 2 more raises of our rates here. And with that being said, we're headed towards 8%. If they say it, if they say they're going to pause or they're going to reevaluate the numbers, well, then I think that's better. But you know what? That doesn't put them on the front page of CNBC unless they say something outrageous, which I think that all of them are going to say something outrageous. Nobody wants to shine from a spotlight, especially all the 400 PhDs that have put us in this situation in the first place. Well, thank you guys very much for joining me today. That's 5 minutes or 10 minutes it is. This is fantastic information I want to keep giving you to every day. You guys take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.